transformation notes, translations. So these notes follow along with your transformations book. Now before we get started, we need to define what exactly a transformation is. One of my favorite books growing up was The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Alright, so in this story, you have a caterpillar, and he's very, very hungry, and he eats and eats and eats and eats and eats, and then he gets full, and takes a nap, right, makes himself a cocoon. He spends some time in that cocoon, and what happens at the end? He emerges as a beautiful butterfly, right? Okay, so transformation, right? Taking one thing, transforming it, changing it into something else. Now, the kinds of transformations we're going to start with are something called rigid transformations. Okay, these are rigid. What that means is that their shape and their size stay the same, just their position changes. So when we're talking about our before shape, we are talking about something called the pre-image. When we are talking about the after shape, we are talking about the image. And we denote this using prime notation. Okay, so if we start with, let's do a right triangle. Okay, we'll call this ABC. Alright. And then we transform it. Alright, we apply some type of transformation to it. And so say let's change this around here. Well, we have A prime, B prime, C prime. So that's how we denote the difference between where we started and where we ended, pre-image and our image. Now say there's another transformation that happens to it. Okay, so it undergoes another transformation, and now it looks something like this. A, B, C. Right? We can use double prime notation to show, hey, it underwent another transformation. Okay, so let's talk about translations. Translations are a specific kind of transformation. They move every point of a figure the same distance in the same direction. Right? Same distance in the same direction. We can describe these using a mapping notation that takes every coordinate point, right? Because it's every point of a figure. So we move the points up, down, left, right, and then you just connect the points back together to make the shape. Okay? So this can be described by the mapping notation XY, right? That's our coordinate point. And if you shift something along the x-axis, you're shifting it left or right, so we get our A. And if you're shifting something on the y-axis, up or down, there's a B. Okay? So if we're shifting something both horizontally and vertically, our pre-image smiley face gets transformed into our image. Okay? Before and our after. So let's see what this looks like using actual coordinate points. Okay? So we are given quadrilateral. Quadrilateral ABCD has vertices A, B, C, and D, and we're given those all have certain coordinate points. Its image has a translation where xy is transformed into x plus 12 and y minus 5. We want to find the new coordinates of this quadrilateral, and we want to name it properly. So if we start with point A, we know that point A is at -1, 8. Okay? We're starting here, right? -1, 8. We translate it. We apply the translation, and so we add 12 to -1, we get 11, and we subtract 5 from 8, and we get 3. Okay? And so this point we can now denote as A prime. Okay? Same thing with B. We're starting with point 212. Right? We apply our transformation. 2 plus 12 is 14. 12 minus 5 is 7. And we now have B prime. Right? Our after point for B. Okay. Letter C. Well, with C, I'm going to draw these down below because they're not going to quite fit here. My marker's a little bit too big. Okay. C is at coordinate point 5, 8. We're going to translate or apply our transformation. So 5 plus 12, comma, 8 minus 5, right? 'Cause it's still a coordinate point. And so 5 plus 12 gives us 17. 8 minus 5 gives us 3. And so this is point C prime. Okay? And then lastly, D. Which is at coordinate point -1, -2. We apply our transformation. -1 plus 12 for our x coordinate and -2 minus 5 for our y coordinate. And we get 11, -7, and this is our image for D. Okay. So now from here, we can graph this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 12, 12. Alright, so you guys all should have a little graph where you can draw this. I'm going to draw our pre-image in red and then our image in blue. So our pre-image. Point A is at -1, 8. So -1, 8. We're going to label that point A. Point B is at 212. So point B. Point C is at 5, 8. And point D is at -1, -2. You can connect all of these points, and we get a quadrilateral, something with 4 sides. Now when we go to plot our image, right, our transformed points, we get that A is at 11, 3. A prime, sorry, right? So A prime. B is at 14, 7. I guess I didn't draw this wide enough. There we go. 14, 7. C prime is going to be at 17, 3. And then lastly, D prime is at 11, -7. Okay. We connect the points. We'll see, we've got the exact same shape, the exact same size, just in a different position. Alright, example number 2. We've got point A at negative 1, 2. We want to apply the transformation where x increases by 3. Right, so if we add 3 to x, it's going to move it right 3. And then y minus 1, it's going to move our point down 1. Okay. So our A prime is going to be, well, negative 1 plus 3 gives us 2. 2 minus 1 gives us 1. Okay, point B. Negative 1, 5. So B prime, we're going to take that x value and add 3 to it. We get 2. We're going to take that y value, 5, subtract 1, we get 4. C, 4, 6. So C prime is going to be at 4 plus 3 is 7. 6 minus 1 is 5. Point D is at 4, 2. So D prime would be at 7, 1. Oops, put that in black. D prime is at 7, 1. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is we want to graph this. So point A at negative 1, 2. Point B at negative 1, 5. Point C is at 4, 6. And point D is at 4, 2. You're going to connect those lines. And now we've got a shape. Okay. This is our pre-image. Now our actual image is after the translation. Excuse me. So A is now going to be at 2, 1. So A prime is 2, 1. B prime is at 2, 4. C prime is at 4, 6. Oh, sorry, C prime is at 7, 5. And lastly, D is at 7, or D prime is at 7, 1. Okay, and we connect them together. And there's your transformation. Alright, this last one I want you to try on your own. I will give the answers down here at the bottom. So go ahead and try this one yourself, and then check back in to see if you have the correct answer. So if A is at 1, negative 2, then A prime is transformed by adding 2 to x and subtracting 2 from y. So our A prime is 3, negative 4. B is at coordinate point 3, negative 1. So B prime will be at 5, negative 3. Coordinate point C is at 0, 3. So our pre-image after its transformation, C prime, 2, 1, and lastly, point D, negative 4, 1, becomes D prime, negative 2, negative 1. Okay? So go ahead and graph those two at the top, and you've completed your notes.